Hello, my name is Ryan McLean, and this is my video submission for my key learning assignment. Today I'll be talking about an instance that happened at work in my field placement, where I feel like I really had that aha moment or a key learning experience. So let's just get into it. Basically, the event that happened was I was routinely we do bereavement outreach in my placement at the Office of Decedent Affairs, and I call people who just lost a family member in the hospital or in the community. In this one that I'll be talking about was in the hospital. So this was a person that I called whose father had just passed away. It was, someone in palliative care. It was somebody who was 90 something years old. So the death was very timely. So I really didn't expect to talk to him for very long. A lot of times that when the death was timely and it's expected, then the family will tell me on the phone, we're okay. We don't need any services at this time, and I'll just leave them with some like a phone number to reach out if they do want resources in the future. In this instant, I called her. We talked for about 5-10 minutes, and which is pretty normal for a call like this. And one thing that came up really sparked my interest, and I thought that I responded really well. And it's become something that I use now on for all of my calls if this type of thing comes up. So the instance was the person, their father was terminally ill, and they had to make a decision. That the father was not able, he was not competent enough to make this decision for himself. So he needed his uh, primary caretaker to be the one to make this decision, which ended up being his daughter. And I talked to her, his daughter, and she, it was pretty normal. She said, we're okay, don't worry. Just like I kind of expected, but you never know. And she mentioned that one thing that sparked my interest, and this is kind of where it all came out, was that she said that she was feeling a little bit of relief. And so I immediately thought back to not only my multiple conversations with my supervisor, but also, my death and dying class that I took last semester, which informed me that this is actually pretty normal, that people will feel relief, and with that relief, because um, the circumstances are drawn out for so long sometimes, that it's a lot of work to take care of those type of people. And so guilt sometimes comes with that. And it's something that is common, and that's what I wanted to tell her. So I mentioned to her that what she's going through is actually not uh, abnormal at all. It's something that's very normal that people feel sometimes, and it happens a lot. So I just wanted to let her know that it's like I said, normal in a way, and that she shouldn't feel too much guilt from it. But if she does feel guilt, then that's okay, and that's normal as well. And so um, she really took on to that. And but the thing that came out was that she said, what, I don't feel guilt as much from feeling relieved. I feel guilty because I'm the one that had to make the decision. And I thought that was really a profound thing that I hadn't really thought about. That you do make these. You sometimes you have to make these decisions, and if you're the one to make the decision to put your father on a palliative care, then that can have a lot of weight to it. So immediately I thought to myself, this is where the screening or these assessments start, or maybe not start, but they this is what they're for. And so it doesn't come up. You would think that this person has the right circumstances to be really okay after their father passing away. It was timely. It was something they knew was going to happen. They had lots of time to prepare for it emotionally and financially and any other way. And but the thing is that it's still hard, of course. But making that decision to switch him to palliative care is it's got to be incredibly difficult. And I think she took a lot out of what I was saying. She really appreciated hearing that she's not the only one that has to do that, and she's not the only one that might feel guilty about that. And so it just validating her feelings and not dismissing them either. So that was my aha moment that I've used actually multiple times thereafter. I've had other instances where the circumstances were a lot worse. Actually, I had a patient that was so this person had died in his own home, and his uh, wife and kids were kind of estranged, and they had a very hard relationship, and so those they were feeling guilty, and I was able to use these skills that I learned from this specific moment, that it's okay to ask these questions. um, and I thought back to my classes and what I knew, um, uh, and the many conversations that I've had, and it's something that I've learned. It's important to ask the questions. It's important to cite the research and like to um, educate them, and to help them to feel uh, better about themselves, or validate them in that moment where they need you. And these are the type of things that can easily lead to complicated grief, or even a prolonged grief disorder. So I'm really happy with myself that I was able to be the one to be there and to respond correctly. And I talked to my supervisor, Elizabeth, about this afterwards, and um, she also applauded me, and said that she feels like my instincts were correct, and that I did the right thing, to bring that up and educate her in the fact that this is something that is not as abnormal as you probably think it is. Some of the skills that I learned after this phone call were how to bring up topics in a sensitive way, how to how to assess for trauma, and how to work kind of preventatively in that moment, and also how to be direct with the things that I've learned, how to present something without in a confident way, and without dismissing what they're feeling, without just presenting what in this situation in a way that relates to other families, by saying, like, instead of saying, well, here's the research, you say, with the other families that I've talked to, a lot of people might feel this way. So so I felt like this learning experience has really shaped the way that I assess in more than just grief, or more than just bereavement calls. I think it's important to ask questions. I think it's important to level with people, and and also not to dismiss what they're feeling, but to validate it right in that moment, and act preventatively so that in the future they don't wonder to themselves, why did I make that decision? Why do I feel this way? You know, they know now by talking to a professional that that's a common thing that happens, and they shouldn't feel bad about it. So, in conclusion, you know, that this is, I think, has been a really one of the more profound learning examples that I've had in my field placement, and especially this semester. So I hope I was able to articulate that in a good way, so that you understand where I'm coming from, and so that it fits the criteria with this assignment. But like I said, I feel really good about it, and it's something that I look back fondly about.